Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday, the 17th of November 2022. And today's Millwall news. Very good news in regards to the new training ground being built in West Kingsdown, Kent. This is an exclusive from londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press. Millwall able to press on with West Kingsdown training ground project as Secretary of State does not call in their project. Millwall's plans for a new training ground in West Kingsdown cleared the latest significant hurdle after the Secretary of State did not object to the recommendation for approval. Sevenoaks Council gave the green light to the Lions' plans towards the end of last month, but the Secretary of State has the power to direct a local planning authority to refer an application for them to make a decision. The deadline for that to happen has now expired. The Championship club are able to push on to the next stage, with quantity surveyors coming to look at the site to prepare costings. Millwall are keen to move as quickly as possible, but need to get an accurate assessment of the finances involved. Lions Chief Executive Steve Kavanagh said in May that the training ground will take a couple of years to be completed. You're looking at a good couple of years to bring that site to fruition before we start kicking balls on the grass, said Kavanagh. This will be something we own, we're proud of, and we can invest in for the long-term future, so that as a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old academy player, you're on the same site, moving right the way through to the first team. It will also help in recruiting players going forward, because Calma is difficult. You go to a site that's brand new, hopefully it will be a real attraction, especially out in the countryside in Kent. There is a concerted commitment to ensuring delivery of a high-end and state-of-the-art training complex, which is aligned with the club's long-term objectives and is keeping with its values and principles. There is still much work to be done before the facility is up and running. Everyone connected with the project will continue to work every bit as tirelessly as has been the case today in order to fulfill the club's vision. Indeed. Yeah, this is good. Plan, obviously, it was approved by Sevenoaks District Council the other month, but there was still this situation that could occur with the NIMBYs going to the Secretary of State, asking them to stop it and put a spanner in the works, and he hasn't done that, so that is good. But there are still several situations that could arise. Millwall have to fulfil the Section 106 obligations that they've agreed to. They have to come up with plans in terms of how they're going to do the building work, and they have to get them approved by Sevenoaks District Council. So in terms of the lorries coming into the site, when, where, how, they have to have a specified route. They can't just wander in however they want, certain times of day, maybe even certain days. It's all, there's they have to take care of the hazel dormice. They have to, it will get stopped if they find bones. They find the old bones. They have to get the archaeologists in, time team, to have a look, see if they're, how old the bones are. Are they really old bones? In a situation like this, you don't want really old bones, and you don't want very fresh bones, because that would institute there would have been a murder there. You want something in between. Pretty common, like Black Death bones, things like that. You won't want prehistoric bones, that would be a nightmare. But yes, so they can go forward. So now, got the planning permission. It lasts for a number of years, and they can get going on it. So we'll see how this develops over the years. It does seem that the future of Millwall is looking very brighter today. So moving on to this from southernnews.co.uk, Gary Rowett is reacting as Millwall hit 20-match target. The Lions boss claimed that he needed to wait until the start of the World Cup break before assessing his side's progress. Gary Rowett is pleased by the way his side have performed so far this season, but admits that there is room for improvement despite their league position. Millwall occupy a place in the playoffs heading into World Cup break, despite sitting in 16th as recently as October the 1st. The Lions boss was keen to avoid judging his team based on their early form, instead telling News Den at the start of the campaign that he needed 10 home games and 10 away games to get a proper idea of how they were progressing. They reached that landmark in Saturday's 4-2 win away at Preston with a result that saw them climb into the top 6 with a game in hand on all the teams above them in the table. After 20 games, they've won 9, drawn 4 and lost 7, giving them 31 points. Rowett is delighted by the position in the table, but is adamant that they can improve their performances on the pitch as they continue to vie for promotion to the Premier League. I think we deserve to be in and around where we are, he explained. I think in the last 9 games we've won 5, drawn 3 and lost 1. We've played some very good teams in there. I've said it before, we're more than a match for anyone physically. At times, we need to show a little bit more quality. I said to the players in there, I think we've still got 4 or 5 players that still haven't quite shown the quality that they've got. I think the improvement is there. I think we've got to further to improve. The World Cup now gives them 3 weeks until their next match, a trip to the stadium to face Sunderland on December the 3rd. Some players are heading off on holiday ahead of returning to training next week, but Rowett is using the time to pinpoint what his team can do better in the second half of the season. The break probably comes at a good time in some ways because it allows everyone to sit back and to reflect. You go into that break feeling positive at least. In a championship, you never get time to breathe. If you're one of our players, you're flying off to somewhere like Barbados for 8 days, and I'd say that you're pretty happy that the international break is coming this time. Well, yep, there you go. There's Gary Rowett. Moving on now to this, also about Gary Rowett, and this is from somethingnews.co.uk as well. He's going to be watching England at the World Cup. The Three Lions will be hoping to go one step further than they did in their 2 previous international tournaments. Millwall boss Gary Rowett is keen to follow England's progress in the World Cup, but proclaims it may be difficult as he prepares for the second half of the Championship campaign. The Lions have no players involved in the tournament in Qatar. Tom Bradshaw missed out on a place in the Welsh national team. It means that the manager will have his entire squad available when they return to training next week. Rowett is adamant that he will make time to watch the Three Lions, telling News then about his surprise AC Milan's Fikayo Tomori was left out of Gareth Southgate's squad, although he explained that his main focus will be on Millwall's preparation for the January transfer window and the rest of the season. I'll watch them. I'll always watch England, especially in the big tournaments, he clarified. Again, it'll just be interesting to fit around training and matches and whatever happens. We'll try and do our best. I'm sure the players will want to watch 1 or 2 of the games, but I think some players nowadays aren't as bothered about watching the football. When I was a kid, I used to watch every game, and I still do. It's hard to understand when people don't, but everyone's different, aren't they? Indeed, indeed, indeed. Yes, so Gary Rowett hoping to watch England games at the World Cup, or maybe just all of the games at the World Cup, as many as he can, which is interesting. And not only that, his main focus will be on the January transfer window. How about killing 2 birds with 1 stone? Scout some players at the World Cup. We have the work permits, the new work permit system, so it's harder to get work permits for certain players. But I'm sure if a player is playing in the World Cup, that is going to help. So maybe we can get some players from this World Cup. I don't know, Japanese players, something like that. They seem to be doing well at Celtic, and I think Japanese players are massively underrated. So we will see. We will see. Now, moving on to, we're going to finish with this. It's a Mill to partner with R&S UK Limited as new Wall Talk sponsor. This is from millfc.co.uk. Millwall Football Club is pleased to announce a new partnership with R&S UK Limited as sponsor the club's official podcast, Wall Talk. The company's logo will now feature on all Wall Talk content, a podcast which is now in its third season with over 100,000 downloads from across the globe. R&S UK is a family-run business with over 15 years' experience, specialising in property maintenance across all of London. Andrew Stead, Head of Partnerships and Hospitality, said, "We are delighted to welcome R&S UK Limited as a new commercial partner of the club. It's fantastic to see them supporting Wall Talk, which is growing in popularity with each episode. I want to thank James and his family, and we look forward to working. We're extremely proud to be sponsoring such a great podcast in Wall Talk," James Ford, director of R&S UK, added. The club is so family orientated, with R&S being a family run business full of Millwall supporters. We feel a close connection. Cannot wait to support the club in every way possible. You can find out more about R&S UK Limited by visiting their website at randsuk.co.uk. So there you go. That is your news for today. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.